Next is indoor water use reduction in the water efficiency credit. This credit applies to the following categories, and it's to highlight that each of them is 1 to 5 points, except data centers, which is from 1 to 4 points. The intent is to reduce the indoor water consumption, and the thinking behind it has been explained in the prerequisite already. So from this perspective, we can go straight into the requirements. Two options. Option number 1, calculated water use, 1 to 5 points, except data centers, which is 1 to 4. Or option number 2, metered water use for the same point distribution. Let's look at each of them in more detail. So option 1, calculated water use. There are no establishment period criteria. For the performance period, have fixtures that use less water than the baseline calculated prerequisite indoor water use reduction. And points are awarded according to the table on the right. So you can see here, 10% get 1 point, 20% 3, and more than 30% 4 for everything except data centers, where the maximum is 4 points. You should confirm as well that the calculations are up to date and demonstrate that all purchases made since the end of the performance period meet the design performance requirements. Now over to option number 2, the metered water use. Very similar. However, here for the establishment period, make sure that you meter fixtures and fittings and record meter data for 1 year to establish a water use baseline. And then in terms of the performance, for projects with at least 80% of the fixtures and fittings metered, show a reduction from the baseline year of meter data. And again, there is a table that allocates the points depending on the percentage of savings that is being achieved. Less than 5%, 1 point, 10%, 3 points, and 20% or more for 5 points, everything except data centers. And the data centers range from 1 to 4 points. Now let's have a look at the documentation. Pretty straightforward. For all fixtures, you have to provide the meter data, the indoor water use calculator, and alternative water source calculations if applicable. For this credit, exemplary performance is available. 1 point is achievable if you get a reduction of 35% when you use option number 1, or 25% or more than 25% if you use option number 2.